Bitmain had 1.1 billion in profits last quarter, and they're going public soon. Bitmain is the largest manufacturer of Asic chips, which is application-specific integrated circuit. Really, what it means is Bitmain, they started, focusing on processing for Bitcoin and realized, let's just make a chip that is only good at one thing, and that is processing, mining transactions for Bitcoin. I'm going to get in a little bit more about what they're doing, but first, just regarding this article, they're making a lot of money. They're going public here, and this looks interesting to me. Granted, it's going public in, I think it's Hong Kong, which means maybe I can't buy it, but they're going to value it at 10 to 11 times earnings. That's pretty cheap. 10 to 11 earnings multiple on a company, fast growth, Web 3.0 or whatever you want to call it, new tech company. That seems like a pretty good valuation. This might also explain, I saw somebody talking, I think it was someone from Block One, I'm not sure, talking about how they think the excitement in the next year might not be in cryptocurrencies and maybe some in cryptocurrencies, but there's a lot of excitement in IPOs, in stocks. And I wasn't sure what he meant by that, but this might be what he's talking about here is one of, I think cryptocurrency mania is sort of spreading to the stock market. We're going to see this with Bitmain's IPO. A little bit more about Bitmain here. I found this article because I was like, okay, what are they? They're just making chips for Bitcoin? That doesn't sound that exciting. And then I saw this. Well, they're trying to get in on artificial intelligence. I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? So the bottom line is they've created these chips that are specific for Bitcoin, and then they created chips that are specific for Litecoin, and now they're getting into video and artificial intelligence. There's this PDF, pretty intense. I'll put a link to it. Gets into what Bitmain is working on. Very in-depth article. I mean, if you really want to get into the weeds on what they're doing here, but I like this. So they got this little graph here where they show their integrated chips. They have a lot focused here on Bitcoin. Then they have ones focused just on Litecoin. Then they want to do ones that do video, artificial intelligence. But listen to these. Look at here. Every cell phone, it can be a video source. It has the potential to be an unimaginably large planet-scale computation. In other words, right now, the cloud is very much, it's sort of a general cloud. You put stuff in the cloud, whatever you want to put, you put it on a server in the cloud. The idea here is that there's going to be specific clouds for specific functions. They envision one giant cloud that encircles the planet just for processing video. And then deep learning is an extremely computationally intensive and is likely to be used by every human on the planet. Another huge a specific function, something within artificial intelligence requires a specific chip that can specifically only do that, and then they want the the software to tap into their ASIC clouds just for those purposes. Very interesting direction. They're huge. They're in the lead on this for sure. I don't think Intel, is on this. Maybe they are. Maybe you out there might know more about this than me. Feel free to let me know. It looks to me like they're way out in front on this, in a new direction. Might be hard to catch them because they've got sort of the Bitcoin market, which is a huge base to grow off of, right? Now, Intel's huge, and maybe they can get into it, but I don't know. Bitmain looking exciting to me here. Then I was reading further, and I saw this Bitmain and Opera browser. So Opera browser is a very small browser, maybe 3% market share, but apparently they're relatively big, and they've been focusing on in the undeveloped world and in Africa for a very slow phone. Maybe the phone is slow and internet is slow, and they make a browser that works for that. Now, Bitmain wants to integrate, I believe. Now, I'm not able to find a lot of information about what Opera does, what their plans are, what Bitmain wants to do with them. Sort of guessing here that they want that browser to be the interface for their ASIC clouds. In other words, if you want to show video on a phone and you want to use the ASIC cloud for processing the video, by controlling the browser, maybe that helps make that happen. I don't know. If someone has more info on this, I'd love to get it. I can't get much info, but Opera also just went public. And let's look at it here. Yeah, so it went public at 12, popped to 13, came down. And then, and then all of a sudden it went up 15% the other day. This looks interesting to me. What I like is that we're getting in on sort of the Bitmain juggernaut. Bitmain looks like a winner. I don't know that I can get in that stock. Opera's a way to sort of, Bitmain bought into Opera browser. They put in 50 million. They're a big owner, one of the owners of Opera. I like that we're getting in on this in Bitmain. What I don't like is that I'm not exactly sure what the vision is, and I don't know. Maybe Bitmain is super successful, but the browser turns out to be a failed project. So there's a lot of ifs here. I did actually buy a teeny bit. It's funny. I bought it like right here. I was like, okay, it's down off the IPO. We'll get a little bit. And the next day it plummeted, and I was like, oh God, typical. And then the next day, of course, it came back. That's the new typical. Now, lately, I sort of know what I'm doing. But anyways, bottom line, I don't know that I advise this because I'm not sure if you have more info. But to me, this is interesting. I think we're going to see crypto-related opportunities in the stock market. This would be one of them. I think that's all I need to tell you. I'll put some of the links in the video. Let me know your thoughts if you know more, if you have more resources about this. Love to hear it. Thank you.